Now, Uganda Fish Packers Limited is one of the key stakeholders in the export sector with a rich experience in fish exports. Tonight in Let's Talk Exports, Mr. Sujal Goswami, chairman of Uganda Fish Processors and Exporters Association, takes us through the values of exporting fish. Let's Talk Exports. I just love this segment. It's where we interact with different people. We get to know what is on the market, where to export, and the countries that have the best market. Tonight in studio with me is Mr. Sujal Goswami, Chairman, Uganda Fish Processors and Exporters Association. Welcome to WBS Television.
Thank you.
All right. Now maybe share with the viewers and us as well your journey as an exporter.
Okay, as Uganda Fish Processors and Exporters Association, we have been in existence for the last 20 years. The fish that we process is mostly Nile perch. And Nile perch we have been processing and exporting since early 1990s. We have been processing this fish with the highest level of standards for the international market. And over these years we have created a good niche market, mostly into the EU markets. And Nile perch is known as a healthy fish, and its contents are extremely good for health, which is understood mostly by Europeans because they love to have more omega-3 fatty acids in the fish. And also this fish has got a good quality in terms of cooking easiness. And when we fillet it in such a way that it is ready to cook. So, and also because it is a white fish, it is loved in the European countries mostly. But there is a wider market as well, not only EU. The EU at the moment, we are exporting roughly around 80%.
Okay.
And the balance 20% across the world. Yeah, USA, Australia, Japan, China, Middle East. So this fish we have been able to carry through for the last 20 years in the export sector, and this sector has evolved over these years.
Okay. Now fish is one of the main exports in Uganda, but statistics show that we've not produced enough. What has your company done about that?
You see, in 2005, we were at epitome in terms of our exports. We have done exports worth $144 million at that time. It went down to almost $88 million in 2013. There has been a decline in more of almost 39% in terms of 2005 to 2013. The problem area that we have seen over these years, the challenges are that the fish that is caught in the water is, all of them are at a size which are not the slot size, which is the restricted size. About 60% of the fish that is being caught are going into the illegal channel. We call it illegal in the sense that they do not bring any economic gain to the country.
Okay.
What happens is, when the fish is caught, the fish is taken out in the landing site. We send our trucks with our ice and bring that fish to our factories to cut. But there is another channel of fish trade right now, is to send this whole fish to the surrounding countries like Congo, Burundi, and all other places. And what is happening is there is no value addition to the fish. The whole fish is going out of the country. This is one part of the trade. The other thing is that the fish size that has been restricted to 20 inches, that is 50 centimeter, is the restricted size that you can catch a fish. But the problem is that there is a demand for the small size fish, and that small size fish is going out from the water. In the process, what is happening is that there is a wealth loss throughout the value chain. I will explain you again more in this. A fisherman, if he allows that fish to grow from a small size to a regulated size of more than 20 inches, The small size fetches him around 2000 shilling, whereas the big size, when we call 20 inches and above, he can fetch more than 8000 shillings. So there is a 4 times loss in terms of converting that fish or not converting that fish into bigger size. If you add that up, the amount of money that the economy is losing is enormous in terms of that restriction not being in place. So some of these things are there which we will have to dwell with, but you know, the current production, for example, we are at around 420,000 tons per year, but the potential of production is more than 700,000 tons. I mean, that is in the formal sector, and that is the demand that we have, and we are unable to meet up that demand because we are not getting that quantity of fish. That is one of the reasons where out of the 14 processing factories that were in operation, now I think only 6 or 7 factories are in operation at the moment.
Okay.
So the challenge is quite enormous.
Okay. Now, how do you meet the high quality standards required by the international market?
Well, you see, we have, over these years, we have been able to train our skilled and semi-skilled workers at the factory levels, and our QC QA standards are being monitored every day. And most importantly also, we have got, since we export to European countries, we have got proper audit standards, because once in 2-3 years the European Union sends their auditors to check our qualities as well. And since we have to compete with other species in the world in European market, and mostly Europe themselves, they have got their own species, we have to continue to have our own standards to be at par. So we try and do the best. And our standard starts from it goes along the value chain. It starts from, again, the same way, at the time of receiving up to the time it is being distributed.
Okay. And what are some of the countries that you mainly export to?
Okay, like in Europe, we export to Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal. Spain and Portugal are very big fish eating countries. Italy, Denmark, actually throughout Europe.
Now, like you earlier said that you have very many challenges. Has government come up to help you out, or is there anything you want the government to help you out?
Government has been trying to help us out a lot. You see, 2 years back, the exporters, the processors and exporters were levied a certain amount of money every exports that they do. For example, fillets that we export to the market, okay, we are being levied at 5 cents per kilo. Now, this levy that the government is collecting, it has been collecting since July 2012. So in these 2 years, government has actually collected roughly more than £1 billion shilling. Now, this is the amount that we were given to understand, that this is the amount which will go into monitoring and controlling and surveillance of fish. You see, as I was explaining you, the illegalities that are there, the illegalities that are there are majorly blocking, first of all, the factories to get their quantity. You see, the factories that are existing right now are operating below 35% of their capacity, and that too, you know, with only one shift. If it has got a capacity to double its production by doing even 2 shifts, even at this 35% capacity, most of the factories are not running at its optimum. Now, if government can intervene and actually reduce the illegalities, it will increase the production at the factories, and it will increase the inflow of dollars, and also employment potential will be more and more.
And now, talking about the dollar, how do you manage to stand out with a shooting dollar?
It is an advantage to us as an exporter, but again, you know, the input costs are going up. Okay. And also, let me tell you one thing which is very important. Since the dollar rates are known to the international markets, European countries or anybody who is importing fish from us, they are actually seeing that the dollar rate in Uganda has gone up. So they accordingly squeeze us in the price. They also don't pass it on back to us. There were some issues with our fishermen. They came to us and said that why aren't we getting that advantage back to us, because we are also, you are also selling, bringing dollars and getting that dollar advantage. Why aren't we getting it back to us? We explained to them that when the price was, when the dollar was less, our price was better. Now the price has gone down because they can see it in their phone every day. When they open the phone, they say xc.com and they see the dollar rate has gone up.
Okay. Well, like he says, use this as an advantage. With the shooting dollar, export. Make sure you are very patient. Wait for the fish to grow and then you will reap big. We take another short break and return with the money markets. Welcome back. And in the money market, the US dollar is currently buying at 3,648.22 and selling at 3,658.22. The pound is currently buying at 5,660.58 and selling at 5,676.09. The euro is buying at 4,120.3 and selling at 4,131.59. The Kenyan shilling is currently buying at 34.47 and selling at 34.56. Well, this is all we had for you in this week's Business Forum. We hope to have your audience again next time at the same time. Have a good night.